Hola, from the west side. It's me, your girl, DC, the Purple Diva. Happy Sunday. And when you get here, smash that like button, please. Hey, J-Dog. Yeah, you in the house. I haven't seen you in a couple of days. How you been doing? How have you been doing? I haven't seen you in a minute. I haven't seen you in other chats either. That's why I'm asking. I hope you're doing good. It's a cool Sunday night here in SoCal. Everybody's getting used to not being on a... You got your 1,000. Yes. You got yours yesterday. I got mine. Technically it was yesterday because it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time, 2 o'clock in the morning, West Coast time. Yesterday morning, I got my 1,000 and I think I'm at 1,030 something now because I kept grinding. Congratulations, J-Dog. Congratulations. Congratulations. Yep. We both made it yesterday to the 1,000. Now I'm just waiting for my the community tab and to be able to go live from my phone. But they said it takes like 3 to 7 days for that to happen. Hey, Sarcastic Sid. How are you? I'm glad you made it too. It's a couple of people that are so close, but it's like they can't get over their hump. Cause like my friend Nina Vixen, she's so close. So I told her last night a bunch of different lives to go into. I told her to go to like the crocheting community. Cause man, there's like 50 and 60 people in their lives. Yeah, I told people to start. They got to start going to. You can't if you're going to network, you have got to go to a lot of different lives. You have to put yourself out there. Otherwise, people aren't going to know. You can have the greatest channel in the world, but if you don't network, nobody's going to know about it. You know, I mean, that's the cold reality. Yeah, it took me a couple of weeks. Well, actually, let me see. It took me about a week to go from 800 it took me about a week to go from 700 to 800. And then it took me another week to go from 800 to 1,000. I was like, when I hit 900, like doing this week, I was like, I'm just gonna focus to get to 1K. And then I actually, this is how I actually was so focused on it. So I was just grinding. I was just determined I was going to do it on Friday night. Yeah. And the first 100 seemed so hard to get, but it was really hard getting that last 100 to get to 1K. And now I'm still on the grind because you still have to network because you really want people to know about your channel, you know, but it just seems easier once you get over 1K. You're not stressing about the number anymore. And I think, you know, there's so many good YouTubers out there, and I think we're all like stressing until we get to that 1K, you know, but I still have to live stream, you know, because I'm not going to get enough watch time hours just from my videos, no matter how good they are. You know, not unless, you know, you put a video out there and your first video, or you have a video that goes viral, like that van life girl that everybody thinks is an agent, Janelle Eliana. The YouTube algorithm gods blessed her, literally. Because I mean, who doesn't want to see a cute girl who lives in a van? Who doesn't want to see that? Everybody apparently wants to see that. And here's the crazy thing is that I'm a nerdy girl, because I already followed that girl on IG. So I knew about her before she came onto YouTube. And she was talking about starting a YouTube channel for a year before she actually did it. And then look what happens when she does it. She blows up. I actually have a Facebook page for my YouTube channel. And if I upgrade my StreamYard, then I could stream on both Facebook and on YouTube at the same time. So I'm considering doing that, you know, just to see if that will pull more people from Facebook over to my YouTube page. Yeah, see, I don't have as many views on my videos as you do, J-Dog. That's good. I think the most views I have on any video is 100. So, you know. But I mean, I'm getting the word out there, and I'm jumping on panels, you know, and trying to promote my channel. So yeah, see, I've never gone live on Facebook. I've never gone live on Facebook. Not even from my regular Facebook page. Everybody I know has been live on Facebook but me, you know. But I figure if I'm going to go live, then I'll go live on my the page that's tied to my YouTube channel, and then just do a simul on both of the platforms, and maybe that, you know, do that like every once in a while, do it on both platforms, because there is a larger YouTuber that does autism, that does when they go live on YouTube and on Facebook at the same time. You know, and I know that like TR Nairi, he does that. He's been doing that lately. He goes live on both Facebook and on YouTube, and sometimes he does them at the same time, and sometimes he goes live on Facebook first and then comes over to YouTube. I know. I mean, and I'm fine with that, you know, because it's going to grow organically. People are going to find out about it by me branding and letting other YouTubers know about what I'm doing, because I know that there's a lot of people out there that probably may know or have kids with special needs. And I'm slowly getting them to come to my channel, you know, but I'm putting myself out there because that's why I go to streams. I don't discriminate. I don't just stay in the US streams. I go to the streams in the Philippines. I go to the streams in Europe. I go to live streamers that are in Africa, you know. I go to ones that are in South America where all, you know, some of them only speak in another language. I can speak Spanish, so I understand the Spanish streams, you know, but I don't care if I don't understand the language. They're in there to network. And, you know, the crazy thing is that more of them can speak a little English than we can of their languages. Hey, Terry, thanks for coming in. I know my videos are, I guess my videos are kid friendly. I would say my live streams are probably more for adults, even though I'm not, just because sometimes I could talk about politics or something that's probably not what a kid should be listening to. But kids technically aren't supposed to be in the live streams. But my videos are for all ages, because I'm generally talking about autism and I'm talking about things around my son. And, you know, he's an adult, but he's just an adult. You know, but I mean, I just found that the key for me is that I just have to keep putting myself out there. And then what I find funny is people can't believe that my channel hasn't blown up because of what I'm talking about. But it's up to me to put myself out there for people to know about me. You know, they can't know about my channel if I'm not out there putting myself out there, you know, and it takes time to do that. You know, I'm not one of those people who's out there. I know there's people out there that buy subscribers. I don't want subscribers that are bought. I want people that really want to hear what I'm talking about, you know, and that's you know, that's just the bottom line, you know. And I mean, the thing that and this is what I was telling another YouTuber, because I was just in her stream. This is what I was telling her. People are not looking for the same things that they were looking for on YouTube before. They are looking for quality content now. And they are going to gravitate to quality content no matter what the size of the platform is. And that is going to be the key. You know, yes, we all want to get to the point that we have, you know, a lot of subscribers. But, you know, the thing is that if you're putting out good content and people are watching your videos, realistically, you can be doing the same things as someone who has hundreds of thousands of subscribers, because they may just be putting out crap and they may have all those subscribers, but people are not necessarily watching their videos. They sub and then they barely come and watch their videos. I want people who are going to come and then they're going to come back and look and see what the next thing I have to say is. He's watched your videos. I just haven't gotten him to sub to your channel, but he's been on your channel. He's giving you views. J-Dog, I told you that he would. I showed him your channel. Because he has a YouTube account, but he doesn't really sub to channels. He did sub to my channel, obviously, because, you know, well, I made him sub to my channel. But he just, you know, floats around YouTube looking at stuff. What advice would I give up? I would give a young parent. I would say build you a village of people who are supportive around you. Find out everything that you can about your child's autism, and not necessarily autism in general. Be very supportive. Be very patient with your child. And I also would say, if your child is young, early intervention, but definitely get support around you. And it doesn't have to be physical, you know. I mean, there's a lot of, you may find support groups online. You might find, you know, support through, you know, because there's some YouTube channels that are on autism, not just mine. I mean, there's a channel called Autism Live that I tell everyone to go look at, because they talk about autism in general, and they give a lot of information and a lot of resources. So I tell you to look at that. I would tell you to also, you know, find out what the process is in your state for, you know, for education, you know, taking care of the services for your child, who handles that before their school age, and what support you have while your child is in school. You know what, J-Dog? I use my iPhone. I don't have a camera yet. I use my iPhone because my iPhone costs more than a camera. But eventually I am going to get a camera. But yeah, right now I'm just using my phone. That's why I went ahead and started, because that was my excuse for not starting my YouTube channel, was I don't have a camera yet. And they were like, well, you can do it on your iPhone. So I do it on my iPhone. But eventually I will get a camera. I'm probably going to get the Canon. I'm not sure I can afford the Nikon one. But I already have my ring light. And I have a ring light that goes, that, you know, that's for the phone. I found that it's a lot of people that use their phones to do their vlogging. Oh, you have the GoPro? Sarcastic, was that what's the biggest the biggest misconception I would like to debunk about autism is that that there's a cure for it. Because there's no cure for it. But and nobody grows out of autism. That's no such thing. Hey, at a wild boy. Nobody grows out of it. I mean, if someone suddenly doesn't have autism, then they never had it in the first place, and they were probably misdiagnosed. But that's the biggest misconception, is that, you know, and when people say that a certain diet is going to cure your child. It's not, it may, it don't, a lot of different things, they help some kids, they don't help other kids. Like the gluten-free diet helps some kids, it doesn't help other kids. The fish diet, fish oil diet, that one helps some kids, doesn't help other kids. Like my kid couldn't do the fish oil diet because he's allergic to fish. Then they have, some kids get those, do the brainwave therapy, and it works for some kids, but it doesn't work for other kids. But with my son being an adult now, I can tell you, during his whole life, they were always talking about this is going to help cure your child of autism. And I'm going to tell you, there is no cure. And people who say that things are a cure are being cruel to parents. Yes, our kids our kids basically learn to cope in this world because they process things differently. And a lot of our kids, by going through adaptive, behavior therapy and all kinds of different things, can get to the point where you may not even know that they have autism. And those are the ones where people say, well, they're cured. But their brain didn't stop working the way it worked in the first place. It's still working the same way. It's just that they're on the outside, you can't tell everything anymore. But you can't look at somebody and know they have autism either. Yeah, see, I don't I had a Nikon. It was but it wasn't a Coolpix. But now I don't have a camera, so I have to get a new camera. But in the meantime, my phone works. I know, that's what I was saying. The camera, a camera is way less expensive than my phone. My phone's like $1,000. A camera's only, a couple $100. So I'm gonna get a camera. That's on my list. I'm also gonna probably upgrade my Mac too, because my laptop is a MacBook and it works great, but I probably need to get a newer one because mine is really, really old. Hey, how are you? Asale. Asale. I'm not going to, because I'm going to mess up the last part. Asale. I can say that part. The first part of your name, because I know I will massacre it. I know how to say your last name. Habtamu. Happy Sunday night, or is it Monday? It's probably already Monday there where you are, because mostly everybody's ahead of me because I'm on the west coast of the United States. And I try to come on earlier. I really do. Today I tried. I was trying to come on earlier, but just didn't happen. And then I jumped into somebody else's live. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to come on when I normally come on and just be consistent. But I actually had a really interesting day today. I went to someone's 80th birthday. And it was so funny because I've known the person for a while, but I knew that they had been a music teacher because that's what she had taught in school. But she had, at her party, it was nothing but music at her party. Both of her kids do music, and they're both, you know, in music. Well, one's a music teacher and one is a musician who's on the road all the time because he plays with groups like the Temptations and stuff. But it was really, really great at the party because what kind of name? Oh, you're asking her a question. You out? You leaving, J-Dog? All right. Thanks for coming by. If you didn't smash that like button, make sure you smash it before you leave. Sure. Because I don't do pity. I don't, you know, if somebody doesn't know what to say, you know, I know sometimes that they think that they're giving you a compliment about certain things, like you're doing such a great job, and like I don't know how you do it. It's like I don't know anything else, so you know I don't know what it would be like to have a child that doesn't have autism because I don't have a child that doesn't have autism. I only have a child with autism. But yeah, I don't like people who do pity parties for us. I don't need you to do a pity party for me, and I don't need you to feel sorry for me because autism is not a death sentence for my child. It's not. But I will definitely do one on that. Yeah, I can definitely do one on that because yeah, I it's just really, really sad that some people feel that way because they're just ignorant and they just don't know. They don't know what to say, so they say the wrong thing. Oh, I know, and I can be, I can be really, really a bear when it comes to my son, and especially because he's an adult, and we've been in some social settings where I was so close to cursing someone out, and I don't use that kind of language, but it was about to come out of my mouth full force at them, you know, in regards to my son because of how they were treating him right in front of his face, you know. But I just really have to be calm so I don't ever catch a case and I'm not on the 6 o'clock news. But it's very hard. It's really hard to deal with ignorance, especially people who stare. Because if they stare, I stare at them and ask them what is their problem. Do they see? Is it something that they want to see? Why are they looking? I will do that in a minute. You know, I'm not going to apologize for my child having autism. I'm not going to apologize for my child having autism, you know? And ignorant people who stare, you know, I get it. Sometimes kids will stare, but most of the time a kid will come up to you and ask. Kids are probably smarter than adults when it comes to that. Kids will usually come and ask. They'll say, what's going on? They'll say, what's wrong with your son? And I'll tell them he has autism. There's nothing wrong with him. He has autism. But at least a kid will ask. Adults just stare. You know? And that's just ignorance. But that's okay. That's okay. Because that's why I continue to push and continue to educate and do videos on things that I've been through, because I know anything that I've been through, someone else may be going through it now. You know? But I really the thing I am thankful for is that a lot of parents who have kids that have been diagnosed in the last 5 to 10 years, there's so much more available for them than was available when my son was diagnosed back in 1997. That's like over 20 years ago that my son was diagnosed. And I can tell you that a lot of services that are now available as far as education and helping our kids to stay mainstreamed and not, go through a completion, but actually graduate from high school and go to college, a lot of that was not available, or it was out of reach because it wasn't funded. And parents who couldn't afford to get services just didn't get the services. But almost everything, just about, you can get some funding for now, which is the good thing. And it is covered under insurance. When my son was little, they didn't cover his autism on insurance. I had to fight to get medical to approve him going into the hospital for dental surgery, because he could not have stuff done in his mouth with him being awake because of the autism. So the doctor had to put him under general anesthesia in order to do it. The dentist did. So we had to get the pediatrician to fight with the HMO to fund it. And at that time, I got something that they weren't doing because they weren't giving medical insurance for autism. Now it's not a problem. But 20 years ago, yeah. I don't know why it's the thing that's mysterious about it is that they don't understand it. But as I could keep saying, something about the vaccinations being bundled causes more Black and brown boys to have autism. They don't know what it is, but it would be nice if they would put that information out and make it public and stop hiding that information. The CDC knows. They know that. So that's one of the things. I'm sure that there are environmental factors, but they still cannot find anything that is genetic that makes kids have autism. Nothing genetic. So the thing is that people only see a couple of images when it comes to autism. They still think of autism as Rain Man, Dustin Hoffman, or they think of it as being Temple Grandin. And the vast majority of people on the autism spectrum are nothing like either one of those two individuals, the fictitious one or the real one. And that's, I think, is what the issue is that they can't put autism into a box. You can't put it into a box because it's clear that the young man who was on America's Got Talent started out he was severely autistic as a child. He's not severely autistic now as an adult because of music. Somehow that was the key to bringing him out, him being able to be verbal, him being able to be educated and all that stuff. And on top of having autism, he also is blind. So just imagine that. His brain is doing double time, you know, trying to process everything because of that, you know. But I think things like Cody Lee winning America's Got Talent will help to change people's perspective of our children, because the more people they see with autism that are doing, you know, things like what he's doing, and like having a PhD like Temple Grandin does, and being a professor like she is, or like that artist that's in the UK that's on the spectrum, that has a photographic memory and draws all kinds of structures and does all the architectural detail down to the T. As people start to see more and more of the potential of where our kids can be as adults, by seeing, you know, more of our kids growing up and being successful and being brilliant like they are, I think that is going to start to change their perception as they start to see things like that. Because that young man that was on America's Got Talent, he changed the world's view of autism for a lot of people. They now see autism differently because of that one young man, you know. So it's like that. As our kids bloom into these brilliant geniuses that they are, as they see more and more of that, that's what's going to be changed. That's what's going to change people's perception. We really can't change the perception. It's really our kids who are going to change their perception, because nothing that Cody's mother could do was going to change anybody's perception. But when that young man gets on that piano and starts to sing, it's like a gift from God. I really think that the young lady, the actress that portrayed Temple Grandin in the movie, I think she did a good job. But there is going to be a show that's coming on the Freeform network in January. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's I did a video. I talked about it in a video in one of my vlogs, because I found out about it at Art Fest, which is an autism festival that was here in Southern California. But there's a show coming on Freeform in January, and one of the characters on the show is a girl with autism, and the actress who plays her actually is on the autism spectrum. And they showed us the pilot when I went to the Art Fest, and I thought that it was very good, because she plays a person with more severe autism than she has, but she did like meltdowns and certain things just like you would see in someone on the spectrum. So I think that portrayal will probably be one that people find believable. The show that was on ABC, The Good Doctor, I think that he did a good job, you know, playing that. But I would like to see people doing autism at different levels of autism and not always portraying the higher functioning. Now, there is a short film that came out where there's a young man who's playing this guy named, this young man with autism named Duke. And he did a very good job of playing Duke. And Duke is a nonverbal person with autism. And in that movie, the actor that played him, I mean, you would have really believed that he was on the spectrum, because he really must have studied the young man before he played it on film. And I can't remember the name of the film is Duke. That's the name of the film. And it's about a young man on the spectrum. It's a true story. It's just about how he started communicating. Yeah. But I would say that I'm starting to see more portrayals of autism. That's like one of the things that I wanted to push for eventually. I wanted to have like a organization that promotes autism in the arts, like, you know, stories about movies that are dealing with people on the spectrum, books, and then just promoting people that are in the arts that are on the spectrum, because they're in the arts. There's another guy that's on The Voice this season that has Asperger. And I think he mentioned it in his when he first came on there, and he can sing too. And then there's that attorney in Florida. Yeah, there's an attorney who has autism that's in Florida, and she passed the Florida bar, and she wants to specialize in doing law for people on the spectrum. So I do think that slowly people's perceptions are changing, but it's a slow process, because still 80% of people on the spectrum as adults, they still live at home with their parents. 80%. My son still lives at home with me. So, that's still the reality, because there is still a stigma on it, because even though some of our kids as adults are capable of getting a job and capable of getting out there and working, we still are having problems with employers employing them. It's starting to change, but we're not completely there yet. And that's one of the major issues, I feel. But like coding, that's one of the things that my son is getting ready to learn, because that's something that's like real good for them, doing things that they don't have to deal with a lot of people. He's not a people person. He likes to be around people, but he doesn't really want to interact a whole lot with them. But he does. He's much better than he was when he was younger. He will go out of his way to say hi to someone, and to shake their hand. That's his way of saying hi. He goes up to people and he wants to shake their hand. And then when they shake hands, he'll say, "Hi, how are you?" But he does that now. But that's a big step for him, because he didn't care about talking to people before, but he's trying to be more social now. But I still think he would do better with a job that he doesn't have to be social, at least not yet. Did I answer your question, Sarcastic Sid, or did I just go completely overboard? Because I can do that. I know I'm a bit of a chatterbox, but when it comes to things about autism, I'm a little passionate. So I hope I answered. Oh no, I do think that some people. I think that some people are jealous, but I also think that they don't understand it. I think it's more that they don't understand. They don't understand it. They don't understand them, and I think that's really more what it is. Because our kids are different, but they're not different in a bad way. They're different in a good way. They're some of the most honest people, and then they, for the most part, retain their innocence for longer, Oh, I just want to make sure that I'm not, that I am giving a good answer, and that I'm not, going off on a tangent. I don't want to go off on a tangent. I want to make sure that I'm answering your question. Thank you. Yeah. But like one of the things that I'm trying to get my son to do right now is he likes to wear hoodies. He likes to cover his face up and blend in when he's out. Because I think that he thinks that way people won't pay attention to him and they won't look at him or whatever. But my son is like almost 6.5. He's almost 6. He's like 6'4". People are gonna see him. He can't just like walk in a room and not be noticed. And this is what I told him. So hiding in the hoodie doesn't work for you. Hey, Tatted Heart. How are you? I haven't seen you in a minute, Tatted Heart, in anybody's chat. I hadn't seen you in anybody's chats in a minute, Tatted Heart. Where you been? Or maybe I was asleep when you were in a chat yesterday. Yeah, but my son's not. He's tall, so the hoodie doesn't make him blend in. And this is what I tell him. And then he likes to put on his shades so that he doesn't have to. So he doesn't have to look at people's eyes, or basically he doesn't have to look at your eyes. He can talk to you without looking at your eyes. But sometimes this can be a little problematic because, as I said before, you can't tell that he has autism if you just look at him. You actually have to you have to start having a conversation with him, and then you'll see that there's something else going on, because he's not going to just answer you like somebody his age would. So that's why it can be problematic, because if he's not, he's usually with me, but I'm just like afraid, well, what if he's not with me? And we got some stupid person or some stupid policeman, you know what I'm saying? Who doesn't know he has autism and has a problem with him having on a hoodie. Yes, that's what I try to explain to him. But that's the part that I don't think he understands, is that they don't care that he has autism. They just see a black man, period. And it's hard, to get him to understand that. That's where him having autism is an issue, because, I got to get him to understand this, because it's a matter of life or death for him, so to speak. But really, but that's one of the reasons why the police, at least the police that are in this particular area, the ones that I see on patrol around here, I tried to make sure that they knew that my son had autism. But then again, I don't let him just hang out without me either, for that very reason. He's generally always has somebody with him, and I don't have a problem telling the police immediately he has autism. But yeah, but it's a thing, I mean, thankfully, that's all my son is into. I know that there's some kids that are younger on the spectrum that like to wear masks all the time, or might like to dress like superheroes and that kind of stuff, and as long as they grow out of that, it's not going to be a problem. However, if they still want to do that as an adult, it's going to be a problem. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to get, to deal with him with behavior therapy, with ABA, part of his living skills, because, he can't do that, especially, just because of some people's ignorance. But he's a millennial. They like to wear hoodies. Y'all like to wear hoodies, and it's not just black, millennials that like to wear hoodies. They all like to wear hoodies. They all like to wear hoodies. Heck, I like to wear a hoodie. It's just a daggone shame, that they see it a certain way. Yeah. Well, and see, that's the thing. Thankfully, most of the time when my son is out in, walking, he's with me, but I have to always remind him when he's meeting someone about other people's personal space, because that's one of the things that he likes, his own personal space, but he doesn't realize that everybody else has personal space too. He only recognizes his personal space. He doesn't recognize other people's personal space. So that's something that I'll have to do, because he'll get too close to somebody into their personal space. And that can be a little intimidating, but most of the people that are around me know that he has autism, and they'll correct him if he comes too close. They say, "Hey, David, a little too close, back up a little bit," so that he understands. It depends so it depends with girls, because if the only thing that the girl has is autism and she's verbal, then it's probably going to be easier with the girl. If you have a girl who is nonverbal, which is the case with a lot of the girls, because for some reason a lot of girls that get autism are more severely affected verbally. Probably because that's, girls are very, very verbal. And so for a lot of girls, it's more severe. So if they are more severely autistic and they're nonverbal, it can be a challenge. It can be a challenge. I'm not going to even paint a rose-colored picture for raising a boy that's verbal. My son's verbal, but he's not like what they would consider real verbal, like he'll carry on a 20-minute conversation with you. No. You're lucky if you get a 5-minute conversation out of him. Seriously. But I would say for most of the girls, it's probably more difficult because a lot of them are more severely affected. But if they're not as severely affected, like as far as being verbal, like if they're highly verbal, then you will probably have an easier time, but because they're able to express their emotions. Yep. I know, Tattered Hearts, that's what I'm saying. Kids like to wear hoodies. It's not even an ethnic thing. It's just, they all like to wear hoodies. It's convenience. I mean, and, they didn't really have, I'm trying to think, when I was in college, did we really have hoodies? We had hoodies. Yeah, we had hoodies. That's probably about the time they probably started to become popular in the 80s when I was in college. But, it's just convenient for kids to wear hoodies, just convenient. But my son is a black man, and that's the thing that I have to get him to understand, is that people are not only going to treat him differently because he has autism, but they treat him differently because he's black. So he's got to deal with two monsters on his back. And thankfully his father is involved in his life, and I try to get I can only assume that his father is having conversations with him when they're together, because he's just as concerned about him always wanting to wear the hoodie as I am. And he's always asked me, to try to get him to not wear it when we're in the car, like, because he'll have it on in the car when we're driving. And I'm like, dude, you got to take that off. I don't want, them, looking in my car, stopping me. And then I have to explain to the cop, he has autism. So, yeah. Where's hoodies? Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, because that's tough for a kid that's getting a whole bunch of facial hair early in high school. He might be embarrassed and just doesn't want people staring. Because I remember like my next door neighbor, he was like maybe a year or so younger than my son, but he was really hairy. And yeah, he already had a full beard by his sophomore year in high school. He looks like a grown man. And he was 14, 15, 14, 15. He already looked like a grown man. So maybe he's embarrassed about it. But, I like the hoodie thing is just that's a sticky point, because kids are not going to stop wearing hoodies. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I've already gone over, police officers and their lack of training to deal with people with autism. It's truly a scary thing. It's truly a scary thing, because I mentioned this before. In the city that I live in, and I'm not going to say what city, but the city that I live in California, they lump autism under mental health, and they get an annual training to deal with mental health and with autism. But that's scary to me, because if you're ever called out to do a wellness check on somebody and you don't know how to identify autism, you've never seen an adult having an autism meltdown, and you don't know how to handle that situation, and you know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of stuff that I think about, because I've heard horror stories about stuff like that, because the police don't know it's autism because you're not trained properly. Yes, I'm in California. Why am I still in California? Because I can get services for my son. My son can get services here that if I moved to a different state, he couldn't get. That's why I still live in California. But it costs an arm and a leg to stay here. But he gets more money in in-home support services in California than he would if I lived in a different state. Again, but California makes you jump through a whole lot of hoops to get any and every cent that you get. They make you jump through hoops to get that money. But once you get it, you get it. But I'm telling you, it's a bunch of hoops. Yeah, Terry. I mean, I'm thinking about putting, like I said, I'm thinking about doing a Teespring store and having items. Guess what? I'm not selling in my Teespring store, even though I love them. Not gonna. I would love to have a hoodie in there, but I'm just like, no, I don't want to do that. See, they've made it so that I don't even want to sell them. They made it so I don't even want to sell hoodies, even if I put on them Chronicles of an Artsy Autism Mob. I don't want to sell them. And it's like, but my son wears a hoodie almost every day, y'all. I'm telling you, he wears a hoodie. He's got a couple of them. And it's a problem if you don't let him put that hoodie on. I'm trying to tell y'all, it becomes a problem up in here. So I let him wear his daggone hoodies. Used to. Really? Yeah, my son likes food, but that probably wouldn't help. Generally, when he's having a meltdown, they come out of absolutely nowhere most of the time. Yeah, I've been bit a lot. I've been bit a lot. And people, and it's like, I'm gonna, like, when I do the vlog on the dark side of autism, I'm gonna talk about that stuff. I mean, yeah. I mean, one time it was so bad that I had my arm in a sling because the muscles in my arm were sprung from being bit so hard. You so funny, Tatted Hearts. You're hilarious. Well, I think I'm gonna do t-shirts and coffee mugs. You know, because everything, I mean, you know, I don't know what other people what other people are planning on doing with money, if they get money from YouTube or anything, but everything I'm doing, it's for my son. It's for him. You know, because just in case, you know, he's not employed anytime soon, I want to at least help him out a little bit. You know what I mean? So this is my way of helping him. You know, by me making more money from different sources. You know, but I'm a long way from being monetized on YouTube, in my opinion. You know, but when it does happen, it'll be for my kid, and then I'll really be able to push some stuff out about autism, because hopefully they'll put ads that are about autism on my channel, like they do on the other autism channels that are actually monetized. There's a couple that are monetized, not many, but a couple that are. And I've seen the ads that they have on their channels. I know you can. Yeah, I mean, like my son has some. He has some that have a detachable hood where you can take it off. You can button off the hood, and you can just wear the It's like a jean jacket that has a hoodie on it, but the hoodie detaches off. So that's the only one that he'll sometimes wear without the hoodie, because he'll take it off. He'll detach it off of that one. That's the only one that he'll wear without the hoodie. But then he'll put a hat on. Get the picture? If he doesn't have the hoodie, he puts a hat on. And he likes to wear those, you know, those wool beanies. You know, the wool beanies that the kids always put on, no matter what time of the year it is. They got on a wool daggone beanie. Yeah, those are the kind he likes to wear. So, yeah, that's, you know, it's either I'll get a wool beanie if I don't get the hoodie. So that's why generally I'm okay. Would rather see the hoodie, because in the summertime I'm not trying to see that wool beanie. Really? Yeah, something about them hoods. Y'all like hoods. Yeah, my fingers. Fingers mainly. Fingers mainly. Fingers mainly. You know, but my shoulder has gotten it too. You know, but generally they go for the hand, Terry. They go for the hands. Why are they going for our hands? You know? I don't get that part. I don't get that part. But that's generally what they go for. They go for the hand. Oh, I love Ariana Grande. I like to sing her songs on karaoke. She's been through a whole lot too. That girl's been through a lot. Been through a lot. Been through a lot. But I like her. Hey, Queen Bee. How are you? Happy Sunday. I came on at 9:30. My normal time. I'm being consistent. That's generally the time you can. I'm generally going to be coming on around between 9 and 9:30 every day. Yeah. I sent out the thing. I try to send it out at least 30 minutes before I come on. But don't worry. I'm not getting ready to jump off. I'm going to be on at least until 11:30 West Coast time. So I'm going to be on at least for another 45 minutes. At least. Yeah, I know you had the sinus infection. Are you better? Is it better? Yep. I'm telling you, Terry, the fingers. I need my hands. You know, I need my fingers too. But yeah, it took like one time it took over a month. It took like several months for me to not feel numbness from what, and there was nothing that they could do, you know, because it just had to heal. You know, I mean, nothing was, you know, it was just like sprained from being bit. The muscles were just, it just felt like they didn't have the full feeling. Everything's back to normal nowadays, but yeah, that was not fun. And his father had never seen that happen until this year. In the last 2 months, he's now starting to see what I've been seeing for the last, I don't know, since he was 11. I have seen meltdowns since my son was 11. Yeah. So I've been dealing with this for 10 years plus, and you just now seeing it. And I mean, that was the whole reason that my son was part of that clinical trial for Abilify, was because of the meltdowns, because he was hurting himself. He was injuring himself as well as others, you know. But we got to find another way this time, because I'm not going back to that. That's never going to happen. Especially since I now understand the full side effects of that stuff. Nope. He's part of the clinical trial, but that's it. Are you doing better, Miss Queen Bee, though? You feeling better, right? No, Tatted Hearts, you got school tomorrow, though, don't you? Sunday has gone well for me. Oh, and congratulations to my hometown. The Nationals are the champions. Yep. Congratulations. That is such a trip to me because in the last 2 years, the hockey team and the baseball team in DC are the bomb. Our football team sucks. And well, you know, I don't even recognize the basketball team because that's not the same basketball team that was there when I was growing up. I grew up with the Washington Bullets. I don't know who the Wizards are. I don't know who that is. I'm just saying. I don't know who that is. That's why I don't talk about them. I'll talk about any of the other teams. You know, even the Nationals, even though they're new, but there was a baseball team in DC previous. They were called the Senators. And they left DC and went to Texas. I believe that they're who people now know as the Texas Rangers. But that was originally the baseball team in DC that played at RFK Stadium because RFK Stadium was a baseball stadium before the Washington Redskins played in it. So, and I believe that's where the Nationals play, that the Nationals do play, or do they play downtown? Yeah, I think the Nationals play at RFK. Oh, I didn't think Tatted would why would I never thought that. Yeah, they did. They almost last year they got close though. Last year they got close. But they did it this time. I know Tatted Heart is a teenager, Queen Bee. I know that Tatted Heart is a teenager. But Tatted Heart always plays nice in my chat. They don't come in here and cause any problems. So as long as they're not causing any problems, then they can continue to come in. No, the WNBA, I was happy about them winning too. I just don't recognize the men's basketball team in DC because I don't know who the heck that is. But I was happy about you know, the Mystics. I was happy about the Mystics winning. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, Tatted Hearts gets around though. I just hadn't seen her. Hey, Steph. Is it bedtime? Are you getting up though? You must be getting up. You must be getting up. Because I know it's already Monday there. I love sports too. I'm only a baseball fan when it comes to, you know, the actual to the playoffs. Because unless I'm at a baseball game, I'm not watching a baseball game. And that's just me being honest. But I do watch the playoffs, and I did watch the playoffs. And I was very, very happy. I was very, very happy that they won. At least we got one winning team this year. Because the Redskins have only won one game. So, yeah, I know we suck, and that's okay, and then, our former quarterback is doing very well with the Vikings these days. Good for him, Kirk Cousins. But they dogged him at the Redskins, so that's how they do folk when they don't want them around anymore. Oh boy, but they were giving a lot of props today to a former Redskin, the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl, Mr. Doug Williams. They were talking about him today, this morning, if anybody was watching. Yeah, Doug Williams, and they were talking about him today. One of the greatest quarterbacks. You just woke up. Hey, Sarah. Thank you for coming through, Sarah. Yes, Sarah. I've been missing all of the chats on the other side this weekend, but I left a note for one of our friends, hoping she feels better. I'm glad you caught me live too, Sarah. But this is my normal time. I'm normally going to be on I come on at 9:30 West Coast. And my point is to be on for at least 2 hours every time. So I'm being consistent. Yeah. This morning they did a a little thing on him. Because I guess it's been 25 years. And I was like, dang, am I that old? But yeah, I was young when he was the quarterback. Because that was back in the oh yeah. Yeah, never mind. That was a long time ago. I am going to get some new beats. I'm waiting for them. I'm waiting for her to send them to me. But yeah, I'm getting some more beats. She's sending me some more. She's working on them right now. Really? Yeah, I know. I come on at 12:30. I come on at 12:30 a.m. East Coast time. But it's only 9:30 on the West Coast. So, but I come on every day. So I know that sometimes I'll catch some of the folk on the East Coast. Sometimes I won't. But yes, I will have some more beats for you guys soon. I will have some more beats for you guys too. But I like how this one starts to show off. It's like when it comes on, y'all know it's me. It's my signature for right now. I did tell her, Queen Bee, I did tell her. I told her that I told her that she was getting compliments on the beats. I did tell her. And she says, cool. She says, I got some more for you. So she's going to send me another one. She got some more. She's working on them. Thank you, Steph. I appreciate that. That's right. I mean, if nothing else, I am consistently coming on every day. Consistently. I'm coming on and I always have something to say. I always have something to say. That's why I call it Not So Random Chat, because, nothing's random, not really. Even when people call something random, it's not really random, I know. Hi, Sparks. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for coming through. Sparks Massage with the massage videos. Yes. I love the massage videos. I try to close my eyes and pretend that I'm getting that massage. Happy Sunday. Or Monday, if it's already Monday for you, Sparks. We are just talking about different things. We were actually talking about hoodies for a while because my son loves to wear hoodies. But then we got off on another tangent, and I don't even know what we were talking about. Yes, please. Oh, by being consistent. Yeah, I mean, Sarah, I'm just trying to come on. I'm just trying to talk about whatever's on my heart on that day. And usually I have some good stuff. Like right now, we were just talking about my hometown team winning the World Series. That was really good. I figured that. Bye, Sid. I will see you soon. Thank you for coming by. And I hope I was able to answer any questions you have. Feel free to ask anytime you want. I told you, Terry. I told you. Good, Sarah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing it pop up in my inbox. I know. The massage is on there. I'm telling you, Terry, just close your eyes and you can just pretend it's you. Yep. And somebody gave me 2 certificates to get some free massages. at this doctor's office. So I'm gonna take them up on those soon. Because the last time I had a massage was 8 months ago. 8 months ago. And that also was because somebody gave me a certificate to go get a massage. This time they gave me 2. I think they're trying to tell me something. I'm like, do I look like I need a massage? Do I look like I'm really stressed out, guys? Even though I am sometimes, but like, do I look like I'm that tight? But I think I could probably get the massages covered by my insurance because I have scoliosis. And he's a back doctor that happens to have the massages in his as part of his office, as part of the treatment. So I may be able to get it covered by my insurance, but I don't know because we're changing insurance again. You haven't had one in years, Terry? I at least can say I had one this year. It might have been a long time ago, but I had one this year. I had one this year. You know? And that's a daggone shame because massages are so good for you. And every time I get one, I feel so good afterwards, and my muscles feel so good. And last time I got one, my shoulder was jammed, but it wasn't jammed after I came out of the massage, because they really, and I don't even know how I jammed at that time. Probably just getting old. But yeah, I definitely need to use one of those massages. I need to do some self-care. I'm tripping. I'm not doing self-care. And that would be considered self-care, to get a massage. Yep, that would be considered self-care. Is it really cold there? Right now here, believe it or not, it's like it's in the low 50s right now, but it's nighttime. Wow. But it gets cold there in the wintertime. Do you guys get a lot of rain in the wintertime, Steph? I know he hasn't had one in years. At least, Sparks, at least I can say I've had one in this year. But before I had that one this year, it had been several years since I'd had one. So I shouldn't just have one massage a year. That's just awful. That's not good. Oh, French YouTuber that does what? Wow. That's why I was thinking it's really rainy in the wintertime there. Wow. She did it with her nails. I don't really have nails. I mean, I keep my nails short because I play instruments and can't have really long nails playing instruments. I used to have really long nails though, but I haven't had my nails really long since I had a kid. So I haven't had long nails for like 20 something years. I used to wear them really long when I was young. They were probably long and distracting too. I know I'm eating candy. I'm eating the hazelnut spread M&Ms. Again, they're my favorite. I'm eating M&Ms. You busted me, Queen Bee. You busted me. Eating candy. But it's only candy. It's those hazelnut spread ones. I like them. They taste so good to me. I know. Believe it or not, I'm not a sweets person, but I like these. I like this candy. I like M&Ms, but I don't eat a lot of sweets. But now I am starting to eat a lot of M&Ms. But usually I'm only eating them when I'm sitting on live stream with you guys. So every night when I get on live stream, I have the M&Ms sitting here at the beginning of the live stream, and sometimes I don't eat them, and they're still here at the end of the live stream. But tonight was not one of those nights. I opened them because they were just sitting looking at me. They were calling my name. They were calling my name, so I had to eat them. But I'm trying to think of, like, everybody's doing panels. So I'm trying to think. I'm gonna have some eventually start to have some topics. But like, if I'm gonna do a panel, I think I'll do them ahead. I'll plan them out ahead of time. Yeah, see, that's one of the reasons why I'm not a sweets person, because the majority of my family, well, my family is from my mom's side of the family is from New Orleans, Louisiana, and New Orleans, Louisiana has the highest diabetes rate in the entire country of the United States. They have the highest rate of diabetes in the entire country because of all the sweets that they make and that they eat. So I'm the only one out of me and my brother and sister that wasn't even close to being diabetic. Not even close, not even pre, because I generally don't eat them. But I've been eating this candy for like the last, I guess, week? Because they're new. These haven't been out that long. I think they've been out for a few months. But I won't be eating them long because I'm not really a sweets person, but I'm going through my little sweets phase. Pasta and rice. I like pasta and rice. I generally try to have a plant-based diet now, But when I was younger, like in my 20s, I was a vegan for 7 years in my 20s. Like a real vegan. Like I wasn't eating eggs. I wasn't drinking milk. I wasn't doing any dairy for like, I would say for 5 of the 7 years. And then the last 2 years, I started to bring back in chicken and fish. And now I'm more of a pescatarian, so I'll eat seafood, but I don't really eat red meat, and I don't really eat chicken, but I will eat chicken every once in a while. Hey, Topaz. Yeah, I see. I love vegetables, and I'm always eating salads. Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's this chocolate. It's the chocolate that's getting me, Terry. It's chocolate. It's chocolate. And I don't usually eat. I mean, I don't eat candy. I like, like hard candies and stuff. I don't eat none of that stuff. I don't eat candy bars really. But for the last week, I have been in M&M's heaven with these hazelnut spread M&M's. But I probably won't be eating them next week. Oh, here's something funny. So those of you in the United States know that those Popeyes chicken sandwiches came back yesterday, right? Y'all know people didn't already put them on, already started doing YouTubes about them. But between the last Popeyes craze and this one, I have found out some information about the parent company of Popeyes. The parent company of Popeyes is not Canadian, as we previously thought. Popeyes is owned, whoever owns Popeyes is an American company. So I say people need to, I'm going to find out what the name of that company is. We need to buy stock in the company. We don't need to eat no Popeyes chicken. We just need to buy stock in the company that owns Popeyes. That's how and we can be stockholders and be happy that way. Because I don't know what they're pumping into those chickens for people because people are out here losing their freaking mind over a chicken sandwich again. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, I like the hazelnut. It tastes like but I like the Nutrella. So it tastes something like the Nutrella to me. That's probably why I like it. Because the Nutrella is hazelnut. So yeah, I like hazelnut. And that actually, like I used to have a problem. I was always doing the Nutrella when I worked in an office. When I wasn't working at home, I would always have Nutrella in the morning. I don't do Church's. I think Church's chicken is greasy. And I like the butterfly shrimp at Popeyes. But I don't really eat Popeyes chicken. I used to a long time ago. But, like in high school, I worked at Burger King. That's the fast food restaurant that I worked at. My sister worked at Popeyes. So we got Popeyes out when she worked at Popeyes in high school, everybody had that's who she worked for. And I mean, Popeyes is okay and everything. And And I tasted that sandwich the last time it came out because somebody else bought it. I wasn't gonna go stand in line for it, but somebody bought one, and the sandwich is good. But I'm not gonna stand in line for no chicken sandwich, y'all, because I could make a better chicken sandwich at home. I mean, I could do my own seasoning, and then there's a YouTuber who I follow. I think it's Island Kitchen or something. I think it's Island Kitchen. She did a recipe for a chicken sandwich, and yeah, hers was better. She did one. She made a recipe for her own Popeye's chicken sandwich, and it was better. Well, Steph, I was a model years ago. In my 20s, I did model. I did photography model. I didn't do runway because I'm still very small. I've always been more model, dancer build. And yeah, they wanted me to lose weight. And I'm skinny. I mean, pretty much, but I got hips, and I have a little booty, Yeah, but it may not be like that nowadays, but I'm 5'9", and they wanted me to weigh less than I weighed. I think probably then I was like maybe 125 pounds, and I needed to be under 120. They wanted me to weigh like 115. In my 20s, 115, 5'9". That's, I'll never weigh that at this point. Even no matter how skinny I get now, I'll never be that small. But yeah, they want them to be like toothpicks, and I'm little, but I like to eat. So yeah. And I guess they don't want you to, they want them to stay those really small things where you can see, where you can see the ribs. I don't want to see my ribs. I don't want to, I don't mind feeling them, but I want a little fat over that. I want, I got my 6-pack and all of that stuff, but you don't have to be that little. Yeah, that's why I did fashion. I didn't do the catwalk. I mean, I did a couple of like fashion shows and stuff, but and then, I'm brown, so I wasn't light enough as a black model, but at least I don't, and I did my features, and my features, ironically, they wanted features that were more, my features are not, I guess, African enough, but then I'm brown, so they wanted someone who had more African features for whatever they wanted, but they wanted someone who was lighter than me. So, and then they said that I needed to be a little thinner. I weighed 125 pounds and I was 5'9". So. Yeah. But, at least I can say I did model a little bit when I was younger. I'm fine with the little bit that I did. It was fun. And but that's a hard life for the ones who do it, because they can't eat anything, you know, when they're modeling. You know, they have to do a lot to keep their weights down, because they want them to be like a size 2. They want somebody who's 5'9", but is a size 2 or a size 0 or size 3. You know, I think that the clothes are size 3. Who wears a size 3 and who's 5'9"? I'm trying to think. Who would that be? Yeah, I think I was in a couple of catalogs back in the day. I was in a couple of catalogs, you know, but it was fine. I was good. It was fine. It's part of my experience. And I didn't want to be a model anyway. I did it because people kept saying you should model. You should model. You should model. So I modeled. So I did it for a little bit of time, you know. And, you know, they told me that I was good at it and everything. But my thing was, you know, they said I was a natural. I had to walk and all of that stuff. But I wasn't going to be a toothpick for nobody. Nobody. I could not drop my weight down to that. I could not do that to myself, you know, because I never had a problem with gaining weight. That was never an issue for me. You know, I never had a weight issue, and you weren't going to make me have a weight issue in my head when I knew that there was nothing wrong with my size. So, yeah. Because they've messed so many women up with their body image who modeled. What happened? Yeah, 15 minutes of fame. Everybody's here. They're here. They're just watching us talk. Yeah, modeling is tough no matter what. And I mean, modeling is it's very hard if you don't look like whatever it is that they're looking for. You know, because every house has, you know, every agency, they're looking for something. They're looking for a certain thing. And if you don't fit what it is that they're looking for, it doesn't matter, you know. It doesn't matter that you're photogenic, you know, or that you're, you know, because modeling is about so many things. It's like if there are girls that are models that you look at them, you're thinking that chick isn't a model, but she's photogenic. When they take her picture, she takes good pictures, you know. Yep. Are you getting ready to leave, Queen Bee? Hey, Blind Needle. Thank you for coming in to say hi. Yeah, we're going to be on for a few more minutes, maybe 10, 15 more minutes. Yeah, I try to be consistent, Blind Needle. I try to come on every night around the same time. That way people, you know, kind of know, well, yeah, they know that DC is going to be on during these hours. So I try to come in, I try to be consistent. How was your weekend? Okay, good night, Queen Bee. I'll see you later on during the week. I hope you feel better, sweetie. I hope you feel better. Yeah, Topaz. I was young when I did the modeling. I mean, I was like college. I was in college. And I was a dancer at the same time. I was in the dance theater because I did some modeling at home. I was doing it like in the summer. And then I did some out here in LA when I was in school out here. But it's like you had to be careful about some of these things. They will be saying that they were modeling things, but they weren't modeling. You know, they were modeling all right, but they wasn't modeling any clothes. I'm like, you know, that was one of the things you had to be careful here in LA. Didn't happen on the East Coast, but out here, man, some of them were shady. Yeah, they were shady. They were trying to get people to go into porn. I said, do I look like I'm going to do any nude fashion photography for anybody? Yeah. Those were some of the ones that were interesting, but other than those, everything else was cool on that, except for when they were trying to make me skinnier than I already was. That's crazy. Yeah, they can call it sexy modeling if they wanted to call it. Anything that requires clothes off was not with, I was not with that program. Because at the time, I was, you know, pursuing music. So the heck that you know, I didn't want no pictures of me popping up later on. I knew better. You know how people always say, well, I was young and I was broke when I did those pictures. Okay, I was young and I was broke, but I wasn't doing those pictures. I was not doing those pictures. Yeah, this wasn't for me though. You know, I did other stuff. You know, like back in the 80s, I did the sexy voice on some of the, they used to do the recordings instead of how they do it now for all the chats and everything, where people are actually talking to these girls and stuff. But back in the day, they would have recordings of stories and stuff. And so they would have people who would do those things. They literally come we literally go in the office. You go into the room, put on the headphones, and you read the script. And you read the script with feeling. And I did that back in the 80s. Because I had a sexy voice. Now that I did, and I have no regrets of doing that. Made actually good money doing that. Nobody knew it was my voice. But pictures, at least not here in California. It might be different over in the UK, but I live in the Los Angeles area, and up until the earthquake that happened here in the 90s, the San Fernando Valley was considered the porn capital of the world. and it was a modeling company in the San Fernando Valley, and I knew where that was trying to lead me. I wasn't trying to go down that road. I was good. I have friends and had friends at that time who were doing the dancing and were doing, the little videos and all that stuff back in the day. And they did what they had to do, and I did what I had to do, which was not doing that. But that was my choice, but I don't knock anybody else. I just didn't feel comfortable. I guess I'm not an exhibitionist, or I don't feel comfortable showing that much of myself. I still have a sexy voice. Yeah, maybe. It's just older. And I can't even imagine myself taping that, the kind of stuff that I did back then. I was 20 something. I had no inhibitions about reading that script and acting. I know, Terry. Don't know everything about me. Don't know everything about this church girl. I've seen a lot. I had a next door neighbor who at the time was actually doing in the full blown industry. That's how I got the job doing the voiceover work, because they told me about it. Hooked me up. They hooked me up. That was before what is it? Girl 6? Isn't that movie that about about the phone sex operator? Yeah, with the live ones. Now that I never did that. I did recorded stuff, so nobody actually talked to me. They just pushed a button and picked the recording. That was predated the what they do nowadays, I guess. I'm a writer too, but trust me, I can use all of my experience, and I can wrap it up into a fictional character, and nobody will ever know it had anything to do with me. That's what I love, is that I can take those things and put them in and put it into a fictional character now. Take my little experience and spin it into an entirely different, bigger experience and write a book about it. But being a writer is hardly boring. I promise. I have one of the best imaginations. Yeah. We have very good imagination, so that it's hardly boring. I don't know anybody who's a writer that's boring. Not one. Oh, you think that you're... Yes, Terry. Teresa Randall was the actress. Yeah. And she was doing it. Yeah. Now, I can tell you that they did. I know people that did work in places like what they had her, like when they were doing it in those offices and stuff, where they would actually, they would go to an office and they sit in a cubicle. Yeah, I can tell you that I know people who did that, and that is pretty real. That's how they used to do it. But I guess nowadays everybody does it from their house, And now they do webcamming. So, yeah. Now they do webcamming. And I don't understand how do you get on camera and you don't even know these people. So yeah. So it's gone to a whole nother extreme from recordings to people being in offices, to now people being at home, to people now webcamming. But they make good money, so I hear. They make good money, so I hear. So can't knock somebody else's gig. You know, at least they're making their money legally, so to speak, you know. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, I mean, because those things, most of those, they're talking to people like all over the world now on those things. It's not like it was back then. I mean, you know, back then I guess it was much more limited, because I'm sure when I was doing those recordings and stuff, it was probably only people in California maybe that were listening to them things. You know, I doubt that it went probably any further than that. You know, but now all that stuff is global, international. And they've got companies all over the world doing that. It's a big industry. It's a big industry. I bet you could tell me some stories. I could probably tell you some stories that people have told me. People have told me some stories. And then one of my roommates in college used to do that. But she did it when they were driving to facilities and stuff. So, yeah. I mean, there were girls that were strippers that, danced when I was in college to help get them through school. Because all the people that I knew that were doing these different things, they were doing it to finish school. I'm like, I guess you do whatever you have to do to pay the rent and pay the bills. And they made more money than they would in other fields. But now, like I said, all these people work from home. And they're working like the same kind of hours that we work. When we go to our jobs, they're working as many hours as we are doing that kind of stuff. So, yeah. But I mean, I've seen a couple, because they still do documentaries on that kind of stuff. So I've seen some of the documentaries too. And it's definitely a whole different ball game as far as all that stuff. The internet has changed everything. That's why we're able to get on YouTube and, basically have our own live stream shows and post up our own videos about whatever, about our lives and stuff. I mean, it allows people from all over the world to communicate. So I like that. I like that part of it. And you get to find out things about people that you might not necessarily otherwise know, because you would never meet them. So I prefer the way that we meet on YouTube to what those people are doing, you know, but I don't knock them because, hey, somebody, if they weren't doing it, somebody else would do it. There's always going to be somebody to do those kind of jobs. All right. Thank you for coming through, Blindito. Yeah, I have another video I've got to upload in the next day or so. I have to edit it because y'all know that I videotaped when I got 1K. I videotaped it when it happened. I videotaped it when it showed up on my account. So I have like a couple of clips. It's probably a really short video, but I did do that because I wanted to have, you know, I wanted to have that in there. Have a good night. I will see you later during the week, Blindito. In my chat or somebody else's chat. Hey Terry, have you been catching Kink's live streams? I've just seen them popping up at weird times, but I'm not getting any notifications for them. Have you caught any of them? Because I haven't. I just see that she had one, and I'm like, well, what notification went out? I was just wondering. I know she has one scheduled for tomorrow, so I guess I'll try to catch that one. Oh, that is so sweet. Yeah, I'm going to try to catch the one tomorrow, but I listened to one of them, but I haven't had a chance to listen to the one from today yet. I'm going to listen to the one from today so that I'm up to speed when I catch the one tomorrow. That is so sweet, Steph. Wow. Hey, Squishy Unicorn. Okay, thank you for coming by. Thank you for coming by and dropping that like. I appreciate that. I'm good. I'm good. We're actually getting ready to get off in a minute, so no worries, Squishy Unicorn. Thank you for coming through. Yeah. I'm thinking about doing one on relationships eventually, but mine is going to be from a completely different perspective. Mine is going to be about probably, it's going to be about how high about the divorce rate among people that have kids with special needs. You know, and how a lot of us end up being single. I know that stuff. Yeah, we're just gonna be on for like another 15 minutes. Squish Unicorn. And then yeah, so please feel free to stay for a minute if you want. We've just been talking about the day. You know, my live streams, it can be anything that we're talking about. We were talking about modeling a little while ago because a couple of us have modeled. Ah, really? Really, Steph? Well, I'm finishing up my book, the one on autism, and I already found someone that's going to help me with the music for my spoken word. So I'm putting together a book of my poetry, and then I'm going to do putting the spoken word to go with it. And then I have 2 other books that I started that I have to finish, but they are like sitting over there because I have to finish these other 2 books first. Then I'll come back to them. They can wait. They can wait. It's not like you know what I want to put in them is going to go away. It's just I can't write all of them at the same time. I'll make myself crazy trying to do that. So I have to finish. As soon as I'm finished the one on my son, on raising my son, then I can work on those other 2 books. Then I can work on them. Brighton Beach. Really? You were riding on the beach too? Or you were just there at the time that fat boy Slim was there? I'm going to have to go back and look at that. Is it on Netflix or is it on YouTube? Is it on Netflix or is it on YouTube? I'm on the last chapter. I'm on the last chapter of it right now. That's, so, and then after I finish writing the last chapter, I have to read all the chapters to make sure that I have everything in there, that I didn't miss anything. I mean, it's not the entire story. It's just part of the story, but I just want to make sure that I didn't miss anything that I wanted to put in that book. Okay, I'm going to look for it on YouTube. I'm going to look for it on YouTube. But I swear to God, I've seen a movie that was filmed on Brighton Beach. That's why I said that, because I think I've seen a movie that was filmed on Brighton Beach. It's going to come to me what the name of it was. I know that's what's taking so long on this book, is because I revised stuff. But I'm trying not to revise anything. you know, so that I can just send it to the editor. So I can just send it to my editor, to the editor to do the final edit on it before I send it to the publisher. See, that's the thing. I already have someone who's going to publish my book. I already have a publisher. And my book is not even what they primarily do fiction. But she wants my book. And so, yeah. And they have their publishing company is like an imprint to one of the big ones, because her and her publishing partner are both best-selling authors, and so they started their own publishing company to help other authors. Yep, already got a publisher. It's called Brown Girls Publishing. It's two writers, two bestseller fiction writers that are the actual owners of that publishing company. And as a matter of fact, I think a movie has been made out of one of them. And I think the other one has a movie coming out soon based on one of her books. But it's coming. All I got to do is finish the book. Everyone's waiting for me to finish the book. So I have to finish the book before the end. It has to be finished before the end of this year. So that's where we are. And then, of course, once I get the book done and once I publish the book, I will, of course, be promoting it on my YouTube and on my Facebook and on my Twitter and on my Periscope and on my Snapchat and on my Instagram. Yeah, I'm on everything. I'm on everything. I'm on everything. They don't discriminate. If your stuff is good. Yeah, that's what I'm doing for the spoken word is going to be an album, and then I also the book that I'm doing on my son. I also want to do an audio book of that, and I want to do the audio book. I want an audio book of it in English and in Spanish. So yeah, that's in addition to me finishing the book. I then have to do I want to do an audio book of it in English, and I want to do the book. I also want to have an audio book of it in Spanish and have the book in Spanish. So I'm going to have to translate the book to Spanish. Yeah, so I have both, and that's why I want to have the audio book in English and in Spanish, as well as the written book in English and in Spanish. So I know that's kind of ambitious, but I want, because my family is Cuban, so I want to make sure, and because autism has more of an impact on Black and brown boys in the United States, I want to make sure that my book is in English and in Spanish, so that people that may not be comfortable reading in English can still read my book, and it can still be hopefully an inspiration to them. So I'm gonna start with English and Spanish, and then obviously go from there and trying to translate it to other languages. But I want to at least make sure it's bilingual. Thanks, Terry. I'm just, I'm just trying to think ahead, and think of what's the most practical way of making sure that it gets out there. And it's true. You got to make sure nowadays that you have an audio book available of things, because the sad truth is a lot of people don't have time to pick up a book and actually read it, but they can listen to that book. They can listen to it and they'll still get the same information. So you gotta have that. That's what I'd like to know, Steph. I think probably because there's more of us, because it's very prevalent on the continent of Africa. But the problem is that we can never get real numbers on how many people really have it on the continent, because there is the stigma with autism is even greater in the 54 countries that are on the continent of Africa. And people generally don't know about someone with autism until they're older, like 8 instead of 2. And then the majority of the kids with autism over there are nonverbal. So I don't know. I know in the United States, it has something to do with the vaccinations. That something about the vaccination causes people of color to be more susceptible to it. Males specifically. Yeah, they are very, very, very creative. Do you? My brother-in-law has that. And he got it later in life. I mean, he just developed it probably like in his mid-30s. And he used to be like a truck driver and drive buses and stuff. And he can't do that anymore because of the epilepsy. Yeah, my brother-in-law has it, my sister's husband. And October, among other things, was Epilepsy Awareness Month here in the United States. I hear you. Yeah, my brother-in-law has it though. He I think he does like his own work for himself, but he really is on disability, permanent disability, because of the epileptic seizures. But he still does other stuff. He just can't do what he used to be able to do. Yep, but he does everything that he wants to do. But it's the main thing with him is to not get stressed, to not have anything that stresses him, because stress is what triggers seizures for him. And the thing is that my sister and him have been married for like over 15 years, but I have never seen him actually have a seizure. I've never seen him have one. I've never seen it. Everybody else in the family has seen it. I've never been there when it happened. But I know what they. I have one of my best friends in high school had epilepsy, and I would see her have seizures, so I know what it looks like. Yeah, and yeah, but that's why like a lot of parents here in the United States were like moving to, or were pushing for CBD to be legal in the United States, because the CBD oil helps some kids with epilepsy it helps control the seizures. So I think my brother-in-law uses that too to help. Yeah. That's the thing is that my brother-in-law even he says that, and my sister tells us that the stresses they don't know but stress can trigger a seizure, and it's just how you as the individual handle the stress as to whether it'll make you have a seizure or not. But my brother-in-law hasn't had a seizure in almost a year. The last one he had was almost a year ago. Yeah, but not candle. They call it's only the CBD oil. The CBD from the CBD part of the CBD is completely legal in the United States now. THC is for recreational in states that you can get it recreational, but CBD, which is from the hemp part of the plant, that's what they use for the epileptic seizures, and that's legal in all 50 states in the United States, and it's not even considered on Schedule 1. They took it off of completely. It only deals with the THC form of cannabis now, at least. Yeah, meditation is good too. Meditation is good. Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing I know about. I do know about with epilepsy is that you just have to help to try to keep calm. But like, even though my son doesn't have seizures, other people are telling me that some people on the autism spectrum do have seizures similar to epilepsy. But that's not something that ever happened with my son. I don't know if it happens with the people that have more severe forms of autism where they're, not verbal. But I'm thankful that he doesn't have that going on, but, it may, because of the way that the brain processes things, I wonder if there is a link, Really? Have you ever tried like some of the relaxation music and stuff that they have to try to help you with the sleep? Okay. I'm looking to see what time is it. What time is it? Okay, we've been on for like 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. So it is 3 on the East Coast. And what is it, like 9 or 10 in the UK? Because I know you guys are 8 hours ahead of us. 8 hours ahead of me. 8 hours ahead of me, I think. You learned to chill years ago? Yeah. My brother-in-law chills too, because he's like he's older than me. So he tries not to stress. He tries not to stress. 8:07. Yep, that's what I said. I thought that's what I was right. You're about 8 hours ahead of me. That's what I was thinking. You're 8 hours ahead of me. That's what I figured that out. As I was trying to figure it out, as I was trying to figure out how far ahead of the East Coast you were, it suddenly came to my head that you're 8 hours ahead of me. Because I have some friends in the UK. That's why I was like, what am I saying? It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. You seem to be quite laid back. All right, guys. You know, I'm getting a little I'm starting to run out of breath. No. I know it's getting late, and I know I've had you guys on here for a few hours. It's early for some, but it's late for others. I've had you guys on here for a few hours. So I think that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring us to a close for tonight. And I will be back on tomorrow at the same bat time, same bat channel. So I know I'm dating myself, but if you guys remember Batman from the 1960s, that's what they used to say. Same bat time, same bat channel. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yes, we shall talk. We shall talk soon, everybody. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Steph. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Let me see who else was here. Squishy Unicorn. Queen Bee, Blind Needle. J-Dog was in here at the beginning. Topaz. Thank all of you guys for coming through. And I will talk to everybody tomorrow. Everyone have a good rest of your evening or morning. And as always, peace, everybody.